Welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be looking at Gala. Before we jump into the price action, just want to say thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the content, please smash the like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and why not leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord, come check it out, it's free to join. Okay, so what we're looking for here with Gala is further evidence that we are looking for this continuation to the upside, potentially towards this 12,247 at a 1-to-1, or alternatively, if we do move up towards this 1618, potentially a wave 3 to the upside. So these are the things that we are going to be discussing within here. We do need to be, however, aware that we were still talking about that possibility in previous videos, that we were looking for the possibility of still actually having one more move to the downside towards this 011 area to this 00641. So this is still possible, technically speaking. Here we need to just be aware that this could actually still break down if we are looking at this as a fourth wave rather, and this as a C wave to the upside. So what do we need to see happen if we want to look for that bullish count to start to play out here? So I'm going to actually just remove these, and basically what we need to see here is we're looking at that potential that you know we could have actually completed into this low here of this W at this 29 and 85. We did however rather get some rejection from this typical B wave or X wave position. So now what we need to see is this actually looking to break down here, or are we actually going to look to continue up? So the only issue I have with moving up here is the fact that we actually came down so deep. So we were looking for this potential of a 1, 2, and potentially another 1 and a 2 here. However, we have come really deep here. We've actually come just onto that 0.854. So the fact we've lost this 786 is a bit worrying, though technically speaking, we have just wicked through it and moved back above it. If we can find support and start to move away, then potentially we could actually be looking at potentially another 1 and a 2 completed here. So the key differences here, what we'd look to see is actually we'd want to hold this 03784 region and basically look to start to move away, where this becomes a 1, 2, potentially retest some of these zones here, and then look to move away in a 5-wave move, something like this, which could actually take us up into this channel, or potentially doesn't have to move that high. But what we'd want to see is good structure forming here, where we form a series of 1s and 2s, something like this, and then look to start to push to the upside here. So confirmation of this move as a 1-2-1-2 like we have here would only actually come by moving up past the zone of the 06657. And what this would then do is basically move this third wave over to here, and then we'd be looking for an additional fourth and a fifth. I've just got this left over here for now because this is the target of a typical third wave based off of this move here into this high of this 45, 41. So I will move this if we do start to develop here, but we need to be cautious because of the fact that, we are still looking for that potential. We could actually break down deeper here. So until this actually proves itself, we need to be cautious. If we do, however, lose this zone here of the 0420 region, basically what I'd be looking for is this lower zone to see if this manages to hold the 03676 to the 03268. The only way this would work, though, if we're going to count this potentially as an impulse, then would be that we'd have to count this as a 1 and potentially a 2, and then looking to move to the upside, where this whole move here becomes basically an A, B, and a C wave to the downside. Or, yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really fit any other way. We'd have to argue then that this is a 5-wave move, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into there. Though that's not my preferred interpretation of the current move done. We'll go over that in a second. But basically, as long as we hold this key zone, potentially we could start to look to move away here. But the fact that we came down so deep is making this less likely. It is, however, possible that we could still see this move play out, just not as an impulse to the upside. And that would be looking at something like this playing out. Let me find it. Basically, let me just draw it on you. Looking at this as potentially a W, 1A, a B, and potentially still having that C wave up. This is still viable. Even if we do cross this zone of the 03597, potentially we could still look to find support down here towards this zone indicated here of this 39. So we've actually come down to that 50%. If we do look to push down deeper, potentially we could look to find support here towards this low. Here, maybe setting a double bottom towards this 03670 to this 3607 range. However, once again, once we start to lose this lower range here, it becomes less likely this 3355 that we could see extension to the upside. The problem within this count would then be that it's very messy. I mean, we could potentially argue it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but this wave here would be really disproportionate, and I don't really like the look of it. So at the moment, I'm just keeping an eye on this. Potentially we could still see this play out. As a C wave to the upside if we do potentially that target area, given the current structure, could actually look to push us up towards a 64.48, which would be looking to actually come back into these highs here. But yeah, we need to be cautious because there is still that potential to break down. So within this structure here, we talked about that possibility of looking for that bullish push to the upside, and we've got our key zones we need to hold. We need to hold this 0.357 and this low here of this 0.2993 region. If we fail to hold these two key levels, basically what I would then be looking for is one of two options, and then basically this would be looking for the fact that this was just an X wave to the upside here, and that potentially we could be looking for a Y wave to the downside. So the way that we can look to this move to the downside, we can subdivide it currently like this. We could look at this as a W, X, and a Y. So basically a double zigzag within it. However, we need to be a little bit cautious because well, this actually could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it just hasn't finished completing as a diagonal, where we actually look for one more drop. But basically the idea here is that if this is completed into this low, we need to watch this zone to the upside. It's 4394 to this 4786. We can see that obviously we do have this channel above us as well currently. This could indicate that, we see something like this as a three-way move coming, potentially challenges X wave high at this 4481, and then look for further rejection here. So this would be if this move's actually completed. Potentially there is that possibility that we could actually look to move down, because if this is a W, this is an X, the 1-to-1's actually down here towards us 0.3543. So um, it would potentially mean that within here we're getting another extension, something like this. Or yeah, I mean, it would be looking then potentially to have one more drop, and that could actually look to bring us back into this 50% line, and this low here, the 1-to-1, like I said here, is at this 0.3543 region. So within this, basically, what we're looking for is that possibility, maybe this A wave isn't completed yet, and we need to just give it a little bit of space here, and it's actually going to complete lower down. However, any kind of a move that fails to take these highs again at this 0.595, 0.5095 region, we need to be aware we could see this continuation to the downside. So the 1-to-1 of this is actually lower down here towards this 0.2424 region. So we need to be aware. These are going to be some key zones. If we start to break down below these 1618 regions, the 0.365 would be the higher one. Potentially we need to be careful that we don't have a more impulsive structure actually developing here. And we need to be careful within this move down. Potentially we could argue that there is that potential of an extension. So we're going to go over that now. But basically the idea here is if we haven't completed this wave two, potentially, it could still be in progress, and we could actually be looking to come down here one more time and challenge this zone of this 50% here, which is the 0.2932, or potentially lower towards this golden pocket, this 2518 to this 2415 region. So, this, if we are looking at this as a bullish structure here, we really want to see this start to break to the upside now. If as long as we remain below these zones here, this 0.4785, potentially we could still continue to see rejection here to the downside, and we could be looking for these lower targets. So this is what we're looking for. Once we start to break down and we're losing this 0.2038, it becomes less likely that we're actually going to see that continuation up here. So keep an eye on that level if we do continue to move to the downside. So we did discuss this briefly within the previous video as well. That possibility that we could be looking at this as a 1-2, 1-2, and then we're actually looking to break down deeper. So we need to bear this in mind. If we do start to break down below this 0.2032, we need to be cautious of additional structure where we form fourths and fifths here, which could actually look to push us down into some of those lower ranges that we were looking for. So this is why this little zone that we're in here is quite crucial. If we hold above these key lows here, potentially we could look to move away. However, if we do start to reject down here, the only thing is this wave 2 would have been quite deep. So I am just being a bit skeptical of it at the moment. If it proves itself, then yeah, we can potentially be looking for this breakdown. But the fact it was so deep is just giving me a little bit of a warning that potentially it might not be a wave 2. But sometimes these things happen, so we'll have to just keep an eye. Basically, until we actually move back above this 05300, we need to be careful of this potential to actually still have this as a 1-2-1-2, and then actually we're looking to break down in a much deeper way. So if we go into the internals now of this move, what I'd be looking for here, there is potentially other ways of counting this. We could argue that within here we have this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we haven't finished a diagonal here where we form a bigger 5-wave move as a diagonal, but made up of 3-wave structure. Alternatively, we could also argue that within this move here, we have a 1, 2, and then potentially another 1, 2 here, and another 1, 2 here. So the key thing here is I'm basically focusing in on this last move here. What I want to see is if we fail to actually break above this 04224 region, if this actually looks to break down deeper, if this does move down towards this 3248 region that we have on the bottom of the chart here, potentially this could then mean that, if we have a 5-wave move down into this zone, we could be setting up for additional fourths and fifths, which could look to push this move down and potentially extend out towards this zone of this 0.02749 to this 0.2897 region, and that could actually be looking at this as a completed 5-wave move like this. So we need to be aware this is a possibility. We were talking about this previously. Even if we're not looking at this move as a 1-2-1-2. We were talking about the fact that for as long as we didn't actually take this high, we could also see something play out as an expanding diagonal here. Looking at something like this, the key area that would have to cross if this is the case would actually be this 028 02884 region. So if we do continue to break down here in a 5-wave structure, we need to be aware that we could potentially count this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 as an expanding diagonal here, in which case what we'd be looking out for would be that 3-wave retracement to the upside, and then potentially looking to actually break down even deeper. So this is invalidated by actually coming back above this 5297. So if we do move above that, it invalidates this diagonal. This is not the most likely structure that can play out, but it is technically possible. The thing is, once again, if we do start to develop this move as a 1-2-1-2, we'd have to be aware that this could just actually break down much lower, and we're going to lose this low point. So this is the key zones. If we want to talk about bullish potentials, really we need to stay above above this zone of this 02038. If we fail to hold that zone, potentially that could be setting us up for a much deeper sell-off here, and potentially this target zone lower down towards this area of this 01110 to this 00641. So this is still possible. Keep an eye on it. Yeah, that's what we're going to have to just keep an eye on within this. Like I said, this can be a lot of things at this point. If we want to argue bullish, it needs to hold these lows and push away. If we fail to do that, then potentially this could just be a corrective move, which is going to bring us back down towards some of those key levels that we talked about in this lower range here, potentially towards this 24. So realistically, what I'd be looking for here is a retest of this channel potentially. Moving down into this area. It doesn't have to come directly down here either. If this is a W and X, potentially this could be an ABC. We see another 3-wave move up here, and then we see something like this. It could be a lot of things if it's a WXY. So we'll have to just see how this goes. Okay, so I'm going to leave the video there. Hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below. Also in the description, you'll find links to the Discord. Come check it out. It's free to join. As well as that, there is affiliate links for both PrimeXBT and BYBIT down there, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you do not have an account, using the affiliate link does help support the channel, and we do appreciate it. Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care out there.